Hi guys, this is Ulrich with Guitar Ingenuity. Today, the second question of my video series around guitar questions in general. So today's question was how to learn guitar by yourself. So first of all, we need to answer the question, is that possible at all? Can I just by, sitting in my bedroom or my studio or office, can I just learn guitar by myself with just the resources that are immediately available to me? And the answer is yes, absolutely. As a matter of fact, these days it is much easier compared to when I started, when things like the internet weren't available yet. And so yes, with all the resources available to you these days, it is absolutely possible. Now, there are, of course, some considerations and some questions that you need to answer for yourself, because just learning guitar by yourself may not be the right for you to go about learning the instrument. Maybe you just learn better. As a matter of fact, maybe you need to work with a guitar teacher, just because a guitar teacher, he or she can provide you immediate feedback if you do something wrong. There's also the element of pressure, so working with a teacher who's going to breathe down your neck to check whether you put into practice, or if you don't practice, he will likely know next time you need him. Some people need that pressure. They're just not disciplined enough to do it by themselves, especially when it comes to such tedious tasks as repetition and practicing the same chords over and over. So the question is really, are you disciplined enough to learn guitar by yourself? Are you willing to work through challenges by yourself as opposed to somebody who has access to people who would help him working through these challenges? So are you capable and willing to do it by yourself? That's really the question. And I'm reading off an article that I actually wrote where I try to answer that question just to make sure that I cover everything. So one of the questions that you need to ask yourself, am I willing to work harder than a student who takes face-to-face lessons? Because there's no doubt in my mind that face-to-face lessons are the most effective way to learn the instrument. There are some disadvantages associated with that, costs, logistics, and things like that. But I'd be the first one to admit that nothing is better than working with a real teacher on a one-on-one basis. The other question is, am I disciplined enough to sit down every day with my guitar 5 to 6 days a week if I'm a guitar starter, and put in my minimum amount of 20 minutes those days? Can I do that? Will I keep up the level of discipline and consistency that's needed? Then the third question I had listed here was, it ties back to the whole discipline. What happens when I get frustrated, when I get stuck, when I simply don't know what to do next? Well, if you work with a guitar teacher or a reputable online guitar course, you can send out an email, or next time you see a good guitar teacher, you say, hey, I forgot how to do that, or can you show me how to do this and that? Well, if you sit there by yourself, you need to find the answer somewhere. Again, the internet makes things a little bit more easier, but nonetheless, you will have to put in the initiative and the effort to overcome that challenge. Are you realistic in your expectations as far as progression and learning speed is concerned? Because I also believe that, at least for most of us, you just learn faster under a certain amount of supervision. So if you have somebody who provides guidance, or if you go through a course that follows a structured method, it's much easier than trying to figure things out by yourself, and therefore you will learn faster. So these are just a couple of things that you need to ponder a little bit and figure out for yourself, yeah, am I willing to do that? Because on the flip side, there's a lot of positives that comes with just taking things on your own, because you don't have to adhere to a certain schedule. If you work with a guitar teacher, well, very likely you have set days and times. You have to be at a certain place at a certain times. If you learn by yourself, well, it doesn't matter when you put into 20 minutes or 30 minutes of daily practice. You can do that at home in your studio. You can sit on the bed. You can be in your pajamas. Nobody cares. And if life gets in the way, if your job gets too busy or you have too much homework, well, it's not the end of the world to postpone practice, even though I do not recommend that, to be very clear. But you just have much more flexibility. So to wrap this up, yes, it is absolutely possible to learn guitar by yourself if you are committed to put in a good amount of discipline, if you're willing to work through challenges by yourself, and if you're willing to just work a little bit harder because you don't have the guidance that comes from a teacher, or if you were to follow a certain program or go through a course. But other than that, yes, it is absolutely doable. As I mentioned before, having access to the internet can be very helpful. And if you're a guitar beginner, there are tons of guitar courses out there, one of which you can find on my website. No money. It doesn't cost you a cent. It's not a membership. You don't have to sign up. Again, you can just go on my website, the Beginner's Guitar Course, or here's a link. You can do it on YouTube or on my website. On my website, there's a little bit more context and worksheets and all that. There are other courses out there that you can check out. Just search around a little bit. And if you have questions, you can always contact me, send me an email, leave a comment below. If this video was helpful, leave a like. Also subscribe to my channel to make sure you get the next question. I will see you next time. Thank you very much for watching. Till then, bye-bye.